welcome back to New Vegas. And we last left off, we had done the quest for the Omertas, and then we came up here to Nellis, and that's where we're at right now. We're in the Nellis workshop, and you want to come into the Nellis workshop, go up to this cabinet here, and what we're looking for is the howitzer firing mechanism. You can take everything else if you want. You don't have to, but it's up to you. You're going to lose karma if you do. But as long as you do that, we're good. And come on out here. And now we have to help some of the boomers around Nellis. So we're going to go ahead next door to the Nellis Boomer Museum. And while we're here, the first things first, come over here, go right to the right, and these Nellis Air Force snow globe. Make sure you grab that while you're here. That alone is worth coming up here to Nellis. So make sure you grab that while you're here. Then we're going to come into the, while we're in here, we're going to go back here to the back, and we're going to talk to Pete.
You're the outsider.
And I'd like to know about your people. Sure, I can spare the time. So now you're going to listen to his little spiel about the history of the boomers.
Ages ago, long before I was born, we lived underground. Everyone had guns, but the overseer wouldn't let us explode anything, not even a hand grenade. We left and wandered the wastes. There were savages with knives. We blew them up with frag mines and grenades, burned them with flamethrowers. It was neat, but there was a downside. For every 43.6 savages we killed, we lost one of our own. We needed a new home. We needed Nellis. Here we have prospered and multiplied. Here our mighty guns destroy any savages who might try to harm us before they can even reach our gates. Well, until... But... Not saying you want to harm us or you're a savage, but anyways. Nellis has revealed many secrets. It has taught us how to fly the bombers once based here, and it has taught us where to find one. And that is our story so far. For this last image is our future. To restore the bomber, to fly the open skies in armored safety, raining high explosive ordnance upon ignorant savages. This is our destiny. I'm pleased that you listened to the entire story. Perhaps there are people...
There we go, okay. That was weird. It made me do it twice before it triggered this, but okay. Ask about the people's history.
Anything else?
So you can do like bonus speech checks and skill checks for some of these. I don't have a lot of them, but I mean, if you can do them, great. You just get some extra bonuses. Alright, and you just want to just basically go through and talk to him there, and now we're done. So we did everything we need to do from him. We're now accepted with the boomers, and we can move on. Alright, so here inside the hangar, you can talk to these guys, Jack and Loyal.
So you're the outsider.
Ask them what you can do. They want some scrap metal. And then if you speech check him, he'll tell you about his friend, or this girl that he's interested in. And go ahead and talk to Loyal.
If that's... Hey...
Alright, so that starts the quest Sunshine Boogie, and it starts the quest Young Hearts. So Young Hearts is relatively easy, and so is Sunshine Boogie. The reason that we picked up all the parts at, the reason that we picked up all the parts at the other place, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. The reason that we picked up all of the solar arrays at Helios 1 was so that we could go in and do this quest much easier. So now all we have to do is go over there and do it, instead of having to like go back to Helios 1 first and grab it all. Now we already have it, we can just head right over and do it. Alright, we're going to go over and talk to Raquel. And she's going to tell you about her fire ant problem. And then she gives you the quest Ant Misbehaving. So now we have a bunch of quests to do. is up here. Okay, so now that we have got the 3 quests for the boomers up here, we can go ahead and do them. I would recommend starting with Young Hearts because you have to leave for this one, whereas the other 2 you don't have to leave the area. So what I'm actually going to do real quick is do Young Heart, or rather go to Young Hearts. So for this one we just have to fast travel here to the Crimson Caravan. And once we get to the Crimson Caravan, we're going to head over here into the Brahmin Pen and talk to Janet.
You should go talk to Blake or No. I'd love to. This is so.
Alright, so now that you talk to her, you have to talk to Pearl to make an exception for Janet to come to Nellis. So I'm going to do that real quick and head back to Nellis, but first I'm going to go, and I accidentally left my companions outside of Lucky 38. I'm going to go pick them up real quick. Alright, now we're actually back at the fort because I decided after I picked up my companions to come make a pit stop and hand these 2 quests in. So the first thing, we're going to go examine the howitzer and replace the firing mechanism. So now that that's done, I just have to go back to Lucius and let him know that it's done. And we also have to go in and talk to Vulpus.
You must enter Kaisar.
So I gotta tell these guys to wait a second. Okay, so let's go and talk to Vulpus.
Was there more for us to
And let him know. Convince the murder thugs to leave him alone. And there we go. So Figure of Suspicion is complete, and we're going to go behind Caesar here. Talk to Lucius.
Yes.
Let him know the howitzer is done. Alright. So that was 2 quests that we just knocked out relatively easily. Definitely worth doing while you're, real quick making the pit stop and handing those in for the easy XP. Now we're going to head on back to Nellis. Alright, we're back here at Pearl's. Let's talk to her.
How is your visit without...
Jack is interested in a girl.
Well,
Works for the Crimson Caravan, and speech check to let her do it.
not...
Alright. Now we gotta go back to Jack and tell him that Janet is interested in him.
Hello.
Alright, here's
Have
Jack.
you seen her? What?
Alright, so now you just gotta take the boomer outfit and go back and talk to Janet. And we give her the outfit, and then she can safely come here. Alright, so back at the Crimson Caravan, we gotta go and find Janet. If it's at night like it is now, she's not in the field, she'll be in the barracks. There she
Hello
is.
again. How's your... There's one more. Could you do just...
Perfect. Alright, so now we just gotta go to McLafferty and settle her debt. Alright, so find
Welcome
McLafferty, talk to her, and say, Janet asked me about releasing from the
Aye.
contract. And then if you can speech or barter check with her.
Being sentiment. Janet will be paid what she said.
Alright. So there we go. Now we can go ahead back out
I've heard the elite
and
units are on the way to support our army.
let Janet know the good news.
Have you spoken with McLafferty yet? That's cool.
Alright, and now she heads there. And we gotta return to Jack. So now what we're gonna do is, that's done, so we can do Sunshine Boogie, which is the repairing the arrays. So we're gonna go ahead and do that real quick. Alright, so we're here at the Nellis array, and we just have to repair the broken solar reflectors. And you can do it with a repair skill if you have a high enough repair skill, which I do, but I'm just going to use the Helios parts just because I have them. So there's that. There's another one. It's 4. I think there's one more. Yeah. And that's all of them. Alright, so the arrays are repaired. So now we can go ahead and back and talk to Loyal, but first, since we're already over here, we're going to do Aunt Misbehaving, because that's right over here. So we're just going to come through here, we got to clear out all the ants. And that's pretty much it. There's a couple other things we can do, though. Let's see. So now, what you want to do is if you talk to Loyal and grabbed the sonic emitter, you can come in here and place that. I don't remember where, but it's around here somewhere. And you still want to kill the ants. That'll kill a lot of the ones in the general area, but not all of them. Let me see if I can get my bearings here. Alright, where are we at? Activate the generators.
Trouble.
Not even seeing any ants in here. There's definitely ants in here somewhere. I just don't know where they are. Okay, so here we go. This is the spot where you place the sonic emitter. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Let me activate it. And that will kill most of the ants in here. Alright, so now we just gotta restart the breaker. Where is it? Main power breaker. Oh, it's upstairs, that's right. Okay. So find the steps, head on up. And main power switch. Alright, and there we go. And we can go head back to Raquel and let her know that that's done. Alright, so once you turn the power back on, you're pretty much done in here. However, there is one other thing you want to do while you're here. If I can find it, it's around here somewhere. Ah, here it is. So over here by the skeleton, by these two broken generators, is the legendary, or not legendary, but the unique weapon, Thump Thump. So Thump Thump is one of the best weapons in the entire game. Regardless of if you're playing explosive build or not, it's incredible. It's a 40mm grenade launcher. It's super nice. and definitely worth picking up. It, again, is probably one of the best weapons in the entire game. Alright, so now once you pick that up, you activate the sonic emitter, and you turn everything on, you're free to go back to Raquel, and let's see. So we should have all 3 quests complete, right? Return to Raquel, return to Loyal, and return to Jack. Perfect. So now we're done here. We can head on out and go let them know. You can loot in here if you want. There's some stuff upstairs you can grab. You don't have to, obviously, but if you choose to, you can. But where's the steps? I'm going to head upstairs and go out that way. Alright, so we are back at the hangar, and we're going to go ahead and talk to Jack and Loyal real quick. Where is he? Alright, so we are back in the hangar. We're going to go ahead over and talk to Jack, and then talk to Loyal, and hand both of those quests in. So, here we go. There's
It's
Jack and
great to
Janet.
Thank you for
finally
getting
meet
me
you. Thank you for getting Janet to Nellis.
here. Jack
So
is
there
a
you go.
great
Young
guy.
Heart's complete. And Loyal should be around here somewhere. Let's just find him the easy way.
I've heard that we're getting strong reinforcements to help us civilize the territories.
There he is. Alright, so let's talk to Loyal.
Hello, outsider. Well, if you genuinely care so much, they're flat.
So you can just do a quick speech check to get some extra XP. You still can't get into the flight simulators, but easy 50 or what, 45 XP. So now we're going to see I repaired the solar array.
Yep.
And I am now idolized with the boomers. So now the last thing we have to do is hand in Aunt Misbehavin', which is over with Raquel. Alright, so we're back at Raquel.
I see
Let's
the
go
power's
ahead and
back
let her
on.
know what happened.
I'll-
Alright, and then we hand that in, and that's all done. So now we can go ahead and hand in Voila to Pearl. And then she'll give us the quest to go recover the bomber. But we're going to do that next time, and that's going to be it for this one, guys. I'll catch you later.